Fall is here, and what better way to start it than doing the It's Finally Fall video tag. Starting with the first question, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. The first one, Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This is an epic high fantasy duology, currently unconcluded. It has an amazing Asian-inspired setting. And what I really love about this is that our character will start living on the moon. You will travel through very whimsical and lush gardens, vivid dragons, caves. It's really such a quest of the senses. This story talks about our girl who is the daughter of the Moon Goddess, but she is a little bit of a secret. Then one day our girl will display a little bit of magic and she will be on the flee, and from that point onwards she will start to be really obsessed on how she can save her mom, and in order to do so she will be infiltrated in the celestial kingdom. She will need to become a warrior, and she will need to prove her worth. But if you need something a little bit more witchy for this season, you have Sorcery of Thorns. This is a standalone that blends different elements that I thought were really great, starting with that it has a really light tone, that it has magic based on demons, and honestly is low burn that it's to die for. But the most important thing of this book was its setting, the descriptions. This is honestly a book that you want to live there. You will be surrounded by this library at night, candles, this manor, gargoyles, witchcraft. I really wanted to get lost to it. In a nutshell, what we will have is a character that is very naive. She has grown up in this library. She takes care of all the books because they can become a little bit evil and take lives. And one night something terrible happens and she will be forced to be on the flee from her home, and she will align herself with a little bit of a sorcerer. But the trick is that she hates sorcerers. Question 2. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written, but that it touches really deep and profound topics. And for that, I want to share my favorite book of this year so far, Guns of the Dawn. This is a story that talks about war, but we will have a blend between war, but also a Jane Austen story. So it's kind of like this perfect moment where the stakes are really high, but there's also this character that it's terribly compelling. There's this slow burn that is to die for, but at the core of it all, we will see the aftermath of war, and we won't be seeing it treated as something that it's, heroic, but something that it's rather harsh and very traumatic for a lot of people. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a standalone as well. We will follow this main character that it's the high lady of this house, and so she is very comfortable living her life, going through these different balls, but there's this war that it's unfolding in her land, and one day the women are also started to be drafted to war. So she gets there, and from that point we will follow her story. Question number 3. Fall is back to school season. Name a non-fiction book that taught you something. And for me, that was Outliers. This is such a short book in size and in length. In essence, talks about what it takes to be successful. It aims to be a book that breaks down the different traits in order to be successful, but in reality, what it touches is that there are not real outliers. You don't need to be extremely exceptional in order to be successful, and through the different chapters, the author will be breaking down different myths. Number 4, in order to keep warm, it's good to be surrounded by the people we love. Name a fictional group that you would like to be part of. And although this is not quite a group of people, I would really would like to be within the spaceship of Project Hail Mary. The main character here, it's really an optimistic. He one day wakes up in space and he is alone there. He does not remember anything, so he will need to not panic and discover his mission and just travel through space. The way in which he does it and the different things that he discovered are incredible. The way in which he faced very tough situations, almost impossible, were so inspiring, and I loved it. And also for those of you that you've already read this book, jazz hands. Question number 5. Colorful leaves are piling on the ground. Show us a pile of fall-colored spines. Let's see if I can do this. This is what fall looks to me. Question number 6. Fall is the perfect time for a story by the fireplace. Name a book where there is someone telling a story. And as I imagine this is as someone narrating us a story. So someone that already knows what has happened, but that it's telling that from the beginning to us. And for that, I really loved Kaikeyi. This is another standalone. It's a retelling of an Indian legend, and we will follow Kaikeyi, who is the evil one. And we will follow her path. So you would imagine how we will see how her way gets twisted, but the reality was so much more heartbreaking. Question number 7. The nights are getting darker. Name a dark, creepy read. And at this point I have two. The first one is the Southern's Book Club to Slaying Vampires, and the second one it's Horror Store. The first one it's lighter in tone and I adored it, although it had really creepy moments. Meanwhile the second it's downright horror. Starting with the first one, we will see this group of women that are really into thriller books, and so they meet up every now and then and they adore this type of stories. And one day something really weird starts to happen in this neighborhood, because there's a man that has just moved in, and from that point children are starting to disappear. So they are like, wait a second, is this something that we should investigate? And they do so. So it's funny, it's really dark humor, but there are scenes that I cannot for the life of me forget. So bear that in mind. And then the second book, Horror Store, starts with the premise that it's very real, because it's this IKEA setting. Every night something starts to go really wrong and people just arrive the next day discovering that there's a lot of stuff that has been broken. So they decide to remain one night and discover what is happening. So the whole book is just going to be the time span of that night and the different events that happen, but there's going to be a lot of this psychological fear, and also blended to, is this something that is happening or not happening? So if you're in for a ride, go check this out. And moving to the other end of the spectrum, the nights are getting cold, so share a book that will warm your heart. In this case I have also two. The first one it's Legends and Lattes. This is a book that will give you coffee, cinnamon rolls, and just family found vibes, and I adored it. It follows an orc that was a warrior, but she is tired of her life, and now all that she wants to do is open a coffee shop. This has been described as high fantasy with low stakes, and I cannot agree more. But if what you're looking for, it's a fairy tale within a Regency setting, look no more. We have Half a Soul. This is honestly such a cute, short standalone, and here we will follow our girl that has just half her soul, and as a result of that, her emotions are really damped out. She cannot feel extreme emotions or pain or fear. It's strangely uplifted to see how someone that is just, like meh with her life can find hope, can find love. It was so cute, so cozy. Question number 9. Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you would like to get to it soon. And in here, I really would like to get back to Stormlight Archive. I know, from the outside, a little bit like, too much, because there's going to be 10 books. Each book has at least 1,000 pages, but really hear me out, because the characters are out of this world. This story, it has high stakes. It's plot driven, but character driven. You will cry, you will laugh, and at its core, it's a fight between different races, and there's this storm that it's coming and that it's about to just break everything in this world. And the last question is, fall is a perfect moment for cozy readings. What are your favorite accessories for the season? Just a cup of coffee or tea, also a blanket, and honestly, my cat, my dog, I adore to have them close to me when this moment arrives. It's the best that I can hope for.